Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. And I want to say Shalom to Yakanakwa out there, pursuing this truth diligently. Coming at you once again with another lesson. And if I sound a little different, it's because I got this cold coming down with that. Got chewing on a Ricola. So if it sounds like I got something, in my mouth, it's because I do have a Ricola. So the throat's not sore, so I can continue and speak, right? Lord willing, Babu Kusha. So this lesson, I don't really have a full title for it, but in theory, right, it's something along the lines of don't stoop to their level. Israel is built different, all right, or Israel is just different. Something along those lines that, rough title, it's probably not going to end up being that, but basically, the title is going to be something along the lines of, we're not like our enemies are, okay? Because they act one way doesn't mean that we need to act one way. So it's going to be referencing to that, whatever the title ends up being, Lord willing. And I saw this video, a couple days ago, and I just thought, that's the difference between Jake and Esau. Okay, Esau is very dishonorable. Okay, they're very dishonorable. They're scumbags. They're just a very lowborn. I mean, that's what profane means. All right, no one as profane as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. All right, roughly paraphrasing. And if you look into that word profane, it means lowborn. All right, of low honor. Okay. So Esau is low-born. They don't have any honor. Okay, they will. These are the same people that'll like push over black children. Okay, same type of people. All right, and you say, when does that happen? It's happened. All right, I don't have a specific instance, but I bet if you look it up, you'll find an instance. All right, and they had a matter of fact, just today or within the last few days, the elder Hawad. All right, from GMS North Carolina out there in Raleigh. He posted about it, the African Dodger, and then they had a game as well, all right, called Hit the Ninja Baby, all right, and Ninja was not Ninja, all right, you know what it was, all right, Hit the N-word baby, all right, I'm not going to say it, like I said, I suffer from far too much leprosy of the skin to say it, but even though I'm a Jake, all right, but yeah, man, it's just one of those things where that's an Edomite thing. They're low-born. So I saw this video from Reddit, and it's titled "All It Takes Is Patience, Confidence, and a Little Help." So, and the video says "Showdown movement." All right, Showdown movement. My internet on the phone's been a little goofy, but it looks like it'll play. Lord willing, there's audio. All right, if there's not, you can still see it. So they show this little leprous girl, little so-called white girl, all right, how to jump. And she might not be an Edomite. She might just be a Jake. You never know. You can't judge just off because she looks like a little white girl, so-called. But she wanted to, do the, what do they call this, double Dutch or whatever. And she didn't know how to do it. So these two ladies, that seemingly Israelite ladies, showed her how to do it. So check it out. Look, they come over to boost your confidence, right? All right. Yeah, look. Jesus said, "I'll do it with you." Look. So yeah, I ain't just gonna sit here and watch the whole thing, but yeah, man. So a little so-called white girl saw them, doing jump rope in the subway, and as the little kids just seemed interested, she walked over and they let them in, all right, showed her how to do it, and it says all it takes is patience, confidence, and a little help. But if you if this was a role reversed, all right, the little black child would have been would have been treated as a nuisance. All right, there would have been an issue. There would have been an argument probably, and it would have been completely south. All right, and you say, well, you got to make it always about race, because it is about race. Okay, this instance happens, but let's go and see. Let's go and see what happens if it was a little black kid. All right, of any variety, whether it's male or female. Okay. So right here, NPR News, and these are two instances that you're going to remember. All right, at least I remember. Everyone remembers this one. Woman faces charges for calling black child a racial slur in Rochester. It says Rochester community members gather at the Rochester Civic Center for a town hall on May 7th after a local woman calling a child a racial slur was caught on video. Shiloh Hendricks, all right, who was caught on camera earlier this year calling a young black child a racial slur, an N-word. Okay, what ended up happening with her? What was her last name? Hendricks. Let's see if we still have it up. Anyway, she raised almost $1 million. Okay, if not $1 million. Last time was they got higher than that. Last time I saw it was like $700 and something thousand, right? So you see, raised $699,348 out of $1 million. Okay, and I think she ended up making it. All right, and this was her family. All right, that was her right there, and everybody donated, and on a Christian platform, mind you. So that's what they do. Okay, that's what they do. All right, they made this shirt right here of her and the child, so you can see it. You can see it. What else? Let's go and see another one. Remember this one? This is from 2022. Yeah, 2022. It says a neighbor's call to police on a little black girl while she sprayed lantern flies exposed a deeper problem, mom says. All right, it scares me. Man called police on a 9-year-old black girl while she sprayed lantern flies. Now, lantern flies are an invasive species. She was out there spraying them down, all right, killing them, because they're detrimental to crop health and a bunch of other things, right? Well, it's legal. You're allowed to do it. And the white guy actually in the video, the Edomite, so-called white man, an Edomite, in the video said, it scares me. Esau is always scared. They're just a scary people. The cops are scared. All right, the people are scared. The women are scared. The children are scared. They're just always scared. All right, and no one gets scared more than a so-called white person, an Edomite. Okay, just watch it. Watch how the Edomites react with certain things. They're the scariest ones, man. They're the scariest ones. They're scary constantly. Okay, all right, and I'm saying black people scary, not white people scary. All right, for those Edomites that don't understand, scary means you're easily frightened. Okay, not that you're an actual scary person. Okay, you're just acting scary. You're being scary. Okay, so I bet you just know, oh, that's stupid. You just would like to know the slang and you don't know it. So Romans 12:7. All right, just because this is our enemy doesn't mean now's not the time to get them back. They're gonna get back in the kingdom. All right, they're gonna get what's coming to them. Okay, they're gonna go into captivity. But right now, look, if there's an Edomite on the side of the road and he's a hey man, you got to jump or tail, just let him get a jump. Let him get a jump. All right, I ain't gonna give you a jump. Fuck you. All right. But there's an Edomite and he's begging for some food. Go ahead and give him some food. Right? Go ahead and give him some food. Okay? I'm not going to give you specific instances because we're not supposed to boast, but there has been times, all right, where charity has been done in the lightest way, because I'm not trying to, go off, because you're not really even supposed to mention it, but there's been times, all right, I'm not going to say what I gave or what I did, but where they have been potentially Edomite individuals. There's been times with the apostles where it was potential Edomite people, all right? And, You still give them a little something if you have it, right? And, oh, you're an Edomite, get away. No, man. Look, that's where we're different. We're different than them. All right, we don't stoop to that level. We're not low-born. All right, we have a sense of honor. All right, we're higher. We're higher in honor and in morality. All right, than an Esau. You don't want to try to lower yourself down to a low level of morals. All right, to liken yourself unto an Edomite. It's not something you want to do. So Romans 12:7 says, recompense to no man evil for evil, provide things honest in the sight of all men. Now, some people try to argue that, but you're going to have slaves. Well, that's an authoritative command by Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Okay, that's different. All right, this isn't something that we're taking into our own hands. But on our hands, all right, if we have someone that Esau did something or whatever, so say if they called our child an N-word or a jigaboo or a coon or a moon cricket or whatever the fuck, right? That don't mean we get that little blue-eyed devil, little Sasquatch wood-woos ass freak away from me. That little cracker honky, get his little ass away from me. That don't mean you need to do that. Okay, that's just gonna make you look bad. All right. And them calling your son or your daughter a jigaboo, they're gonna look less bad than if you called that baby a cracker. Why? Because you're so-called black or brown of some variety, and they're not. Okay, so they're automatically gonna think it's the same situation, same things happen. All right, calling just a little child a slur, which is wrong in general. And then who's gonna be looked at as more of a aggressor? Jake. All right, why? Because they're Jake. Because this society's racist. Okay, they hate Jake. They don't like Jake. All right, they have a prejudice against us. So we can't lower because that's what happens with Jake. You lower yourself to their level, and they're going to be putting you under the microscope, not them. Here it is. They act like that all the time. You lower yourself down, they're going to look at you, see how low he is. Well, what about this other guy? I don't see who you're talking about, but you're acting very lowly right now. Right? That's how it works in this place. It's not a... it's not an equal society. Okay, they pick at Jake's fault and they put the Jake's faults under the microscope. All right, meanwhile, the evidence of Esau's transgressions, they sweep under the rug. Okay, so Proverbs 25:21, it says, if thine enemy be hungry, give him bread to eat, and if he be thirsty, give him water to drink. Why? He's just an Edomite. I'm not going to give him shit. Why? For thou shalt heap coals of fire upon his head, and the Lord shall reward thee. So at the end of the day, look, it ain't about doing anything to them. The Lord's going to reward you for how you behaved, all right? And it's going to be like think of how you would feel if there was heaps of coals on your head. You'd be trying to get it off. You'd be going insane, all right? You'd feel pain and suffering, all right? So likewise, Esau, when you do that and you help them out, you bring upon them pain and suffering. Right? You bring upon them pain and suffering. Okay? Because they can't stand to have, again, it's like that. Who made that quote? If you can convince how'd the quote go? If you can convince the lowest white man that he's better than the highest colored man, how's it go? Right here. It says, if you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. Hell, give him somebody to look down on, and he'll empty his pockets for you. That's Lyndon B. Johnson. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, and that's what they do. Okay? They try to make the lowest of the hillbilly sister fucking inbred, dog screwing, horse raping Edomites. All right, like they're better than, the highest Jake, right? Hell, the lowest Jake is better than the lowest Edomite. The highest is the lowest Jake is better than the highest Edomite. All right, that should really be switched, and it's not convincing them and picking their pocket. It's just the truth. Okay, the lowest Jake is better than the highest Edomite. The lowest down dirty street Jake is better than someone like Jeff Bezos. All right, or any of these elites. Right? Because they might be fucked up. These Edomites are fucked up. They're doing shit, kid diddling, all right, and killing people and all sorts of weird sacrifices and shit. Jake on the street, they're just killing and robbing and doing some shit. And I don't say just as into, it's only that. But I mean, still, Jake is still doing a lesser evil than what Esau is capable of, let alone doing at that high level. Okay, Jake don't have Jake don't really have the ability to make decrees, as the scripture says. One of them that decree unrighteous decrees and prescribe grievousness. All right, roughly paraphrasing. Jake don't have that ability. Okay, so the amount of wickedness that Jake can, and mind you that Jake is more wicked than Esau right now with what they're doing, but in that wickedness, they're still higher than the highest Edomite, right? Just to show you how low Esau really is. Okay, Jake, scratching their ass and sniffing their hand is better than the highest Edomite. All right, you say, damn, that's low. That shows you how low the Esau is. They're low. Right? You can't even conceive how low they are. Me and my wife talk about it because you think we talk about the Elamites, because the Elamites, man, they're just, you look how they live. They cook with their feet. They do all this nasty shit, and then just to think that Esau's worse than that, and they don't look like it, but they are, because they are the lowest. I shall make you low among the heathen. They are the lowest, okay, of anyone. Right? So 1 Peter 3:9 says, not rendering, do we want to read up? We'll go from 8. It says, finally, be ye all of one mind, having compassion one of another, love as brethren, be pitiful, be courteous. And of course, this is talking about with other Israelites. Not rendering evil for evil, or railing for railing, but contraries blessing, knowing that ye are thereunto called, that you should inherit a blessing. So this is really dealing with our people, and this doesn't mean you need to bless these horrible Edomites, all right? But it goes on to, it shows you that we're a people of compassion. All right, let's go back what it said in verse 8. It mentioned compassion, love, and pitiful. All right, that's pitiful is mercy. So that's how we are as a people. Esau is not like that. Okay, they're not like that as a people at all. So Ecclesiastes, it reads, be not hasty in thy spirit to be angry, for anger resteth at the bosom of fools. So that's the other thing that you got to realize. You don't want to get yourself into a point where you're angry, all right, and then you end up making yourself look bad, or even worse, making this ministry look bad. Okay, and because that's what happens. You got these foolish people; they'll get angry, and then once you get a fool angry, that's when all sorts of evils, all right, just start coming out. All right, whether they shoot someone or do one of the other sins, they lie to someone, or they steal from someone, or they commit adultery with someone, or whatever it happens to be, right? So, bear with me while I grab another Ricola. Bear with me. But yeah, so being angry will cause you to act a fool. All right, and Esau does that a lot. I mean, look, that lady was that Shiloh Hendricks lady. She was mad that little child. I don't even remember. I don't even think they were so-called black. I think they were something else. All right, they might have been the so-called black looking, but I think they were something else. If I might be remembering incorrectly. It might have been another event. But yeah, she was mad that they went in the purse, and it was just a little kid. And yeah, they should have been under more supervision. But one, if it was a small autistic child, they didn't really know no better. All right, and on top of that, it's just a child, right? And I don't care who you are. If a little white kid, was going through my wife's purse or whatever, all right, or took my wallet or something. It was her purse, so I'm just gonna say my wife's purse because I don't carry a purse, obviously. I'm not gonna, I'd say, oh, hey, buddy, and try to, get the parents so they can deal with it the best as possible. I'm not gonna say, oh, you get you and your fucking little honky kid. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, right? I mean, it should sound ridiculous, but these Edomites, they don't really fathom it. All right, they have no, they don't have a conscience. All right, really, they're not even human. Really, they lack humanity. All right, they're not humane. Okay, so this is Deuteronomy 7:6, and then we're going to close out just a little shorter one today. It reads, "For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy power," and of course this is referring to Israel. Let me see if I want to. Now I mean it pretty much gets it right here. It says, "For thou art for thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy power. The Lord thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself." Right here's the kicker: above all people that are upon the face of the earth. So we're above all people. Okay? So we, being that we're above all people, we need to act like we're above all people and actually have a sense of morality, have a sense of, as Esau is lowborn, we're highborn. Okay? We were born to be, princes and princesses and rulers, and Esau was not. Okay? So we need to be more, I won't say couth, because you can say the word shit or damn or piss or whatever, but we need to walk lowborn like. All right, act like we have some sense. All right, act like we're better than them. All right, and I'm not saying in a proud way. It's not saying, oh, we're better. It's not proud to say we are literally better than them. I would hope we're better than someone that fucks their sister and sold their birthright. I would hope we're better, right? If you're not better, then you need to examine yourself. Okay, we are better than all the heathen nations, especially Esau, because they're the lowest of the low. So we need to act better. All right, if someone's in need, all right, and we have the means to help them, regardless of what race they are, help them. Unless they're being a dick, all right, that's a different thing. That's not because of their race; they're just being a dick. So why would you help them out? If they need a jump, help them out, right? So within reason. All right, fill them out, and the Spirit will let you know if it's right to do or not. If something's off with the person, then obviously don't just be, oh, they're white. All right, because I've had that in the past. I'm like, I'm not going to give that white guy. Now it doesn't really matter if someone needs something. I'll just go off the Spirit if I feel like I should, give them something or not, right? So, yeah, man, act higher class, Jake. All right, that's the gist of this. Don't stoop yourself to a lower level. All right, look at how those girls did it. They're in the world more than likely, but what they did was right. All right, a little white girl wanted to come and check it out, so they showed. All right, it's like, get away, get away, get away. All right, but if that was a little black child and the two people doing it were white, they would have acted a completely different type of way. Don't say they wouldn't. All right, because they would. Okay, Jake is constantly catching strays. All right, for sometimes for reasons, a lot of times for no reasons. All right, just because Esau's hatred. Okay, I'll tell you a little story, and then we'll go. There's this homegirl that I work with. She was going for a she was I guess externship for at some medical office. I don't remember all about it. I guess she gave shots and shit or whatever, or took vitals or whatever. I don't think she gave shots, but took temperatures and vitals and all that shit. It's the type of people, I guess, hook you up for EKG and shit. But her grandmother had something going on. I think her grandma has to go on dialysis or whatever. So they had had some people that had to come over the house. So she was in the middle of cleaning and everything, and she was cleaning and everything. She said the house didn't look bad. She had some a closet, all right, that had some random stuff in it. She was trying to clean out because I guess there was going to be a lot of medical equipment so they could run dialysis at home, and they needed an area for the storage. So she was trying to clean out like a cubby, like a closet. All right, not that it was dirty, but just get all the clutter and junk. You'd be throwing stuff in closets, board games and shoes and old shirt, shit like that. Old things, especially if you're in the world, Christmas decorations if you're in the world, and random other shit, holiday decorations and all this shit. Winter clothes or summer clothes, right? And so she was in the process of cleaning that out, and they were bitching her, all right, and saying, oh, well, you can't just have that. It was two white girls that came over, two young white girls, all right, and I guess in their 20s, and they were just being rude the whole time. And then the girl, she's a black girl, all right. She had mentioned that, like, oh yeah, I know, because it's something about the medicine. She's like, oh yeah, because I'm an externship. And they looked at her and said, oh. And the other girl looked at the other girl and said, oh, I hope she's not going to be like the other one at the office. What do you think they meant by the other one? What do you think they meant by the other one? Okay, another black person at the office, right? I hope she's, or they're like, oh, I wonder if she's anything like the other girl at the office, right? Other, who do you mean by other? You know what they meant. They meant black, all right? She didn't do anything or say anything wrong. I mean, she's worldly and wicked, all right, in general. But in that instance, she didn't do anything. She just caught straight because she was a so-called black person, all right? Now, imagine if that was reversed, all right? Everybody would look at Jake some crazy type of way, okay? Yeah, I wonder if you like the other one that they have in the office. What's his name? What's his name? Tucker? Something like that. One of those names. Alright? That's the type of shit Esau does. You know, they'll be like, oh, what was it? Jamal, Jerquay, one of those type names. You know? I mean, black? Alright? That's what you're trying to say. But anyway, so just because, Esau's low, don't make yourself low. Alright? If they're on a low flame, don't dim your flame to be like them. Alright? Turn your flame up so they see you and go, oh, now I look low. And they should. Make them ashamed. Alright? They need to be ashamed. They're a shameful people. So that's where we'll close out. Lord willing was edifying. Just a little short one today. Lord willing was still edifying nonetheless. Again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Wadash. I want to say shalom to you brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring. Keep the faith. We're almost out of here. Till next one, Lord willing. Shalom.